Is the camera angle right? I don't know about this lighting. Maybe this lighting
Wait,
is
does
not
my hair
good.
look
What
good?
is even the topic
Does
of this
this
video?
even matter? Why
What
am
if
I
no
even
one
doing
cares?
this?
Described as the tendency to monitor, evaluate, and analyze every single thought, overthinking is more common than we think. And while it's clearly beneficial to think things through, it becomes toxic when we replay the same situation over and over again, especially unproductively. And this can lead to self blaming, regrets, and analysis paralysis, which is basically an inability to move on. And even though it seems like who cares anyway, thoughts matter. I mean, they are the basis for the treatment modality cognitive behavioral therapy, which we use in psychiatry to treat different mental disorders like anxiety and depression. There's a very real relationship between thoughts and our emotions, which then go on to influence our behaviors and overall well being. And even though there's a philosophical angle to what thoughts even are, let's dive more into the interesting psychology of it all. I mean, while it's normal to have thoughts, this plays into the human tendency to overdo everything. And this usually never ends well. I mean, why do some of us overthink and some other people don't think as much, or even maybe underthink, if that is a real thing? When overthinking, you create a million scenarios in your mind, starting from a simple thought, and in this tornado, it's easy to get plagued with negative emotions. As most overthinkers, you're worried about the future and forget to live in the present. So what I found is that overthinking is a response for our primitive instincts to stay alert and safe. You know, nobody wants to be in danger. But this is closely related to another factor, which is past trauma. It rewires the brain to be on edge. Overthinking can happen to anyone, but those who have experienced trauma can be especially vulnerable. But what about personality traits? I mean, maybe some of us or some people are just more prone to overthinking. Maybe it has to do with your personality type, especially on the introversion extroversion spectrum. Well, Dr. Sherman seems to think so. When people are perfectionists, they can ruminate about mistakes they made or may make. And it did go on to talk about a lot of other personality traits that can make people overthink more, and I will link that article down below. But what I found is that life can be difficult. I mean, why do we then go on to make it even more difficult by thinking about things that 90% of the time we can't even control? I personally think that it's because overthinking gives this false sense of control, and allows us to procrastinate. I mean, I'd rather sit and think about the thousand and one things that can go wrong with a project or something new I want to try, and that allows me to take some more time before I step fully into it. But I've also found that this can be quite addictive even when we try to stop. At least this has been my experience, especially in the past few days, and I did share a quite personal post about it on Patreon. So a lot of the advice I'd come across online, like meditation, talk to a friend, try to think positively. In my experience, what has helped is to disengage. And I mean that in very physical terms, literally stepping outside. There's something about not being physically in a building that helps me to not be so physically in my own head as well. But only after I have written down these thoughts that bother me. And at this point, I'm a big advocate for journaling. It's something that I've done on and off for the past 13, 14 years, but I've done it more frequently probably over the past 2 years. It's just something that helps me get my thoughts out, and I find that I feel so much better. But not just getting my thoughts out and like a word vomit, but also thinking through what are these thoughts, which ones can I do something about, and what do I do? And then the last category is which ones can I realistically not do anything about, and they need to be left alone. No matter how much we plan, there will still be loopholes that we didn't see coming, and that in a strange way is kind of comforting. Alright, thank you so much for watching. My name is Ujolake and I'm a doctor living in Nigeria who likes to explore human behavior through my work and art. Please subscribe if you haven't and click on the bell to stay notified. Also, let me know what are your thoughts on overthinking. Is there anything that helps you particularly? And I will see you in the comment section.